Hi everyone. Today I wanted to take just a few minutes to show you how to use a couple of the selection tools and to make sure that you are looking at your layers menu before you kind of try to select or um, work with different objects. So the first thing we do, we look at our map, and essentially what we're going to do with this map here is we want to just highlight the census blocks in Manhattan that meet our criteria, and we want to remove the census blocks that are over here in New Jersey or in Brooklyn or in the Bronx, anything not on the island of Manhattan. So the way we'll do that is we'll select those census blocks and just simply delete them. So first thing we want to do is open up our layers menu, and we can see that we have our buildings layer, our income layer, our this is our demand layer, let's say, and our medium income layer and our background. And so we are only working with this median income, so we'll go ahead and close those so we can't see them. And we can see here that it's locked, so if we try to select anything within this layer, nothing's going to happen. So one thing to keep note of is that if you unlock it, for example, there's still this little arrow here. If we scroll it down, we can see that the way that it exports from the Adobe Illustrator extension, it creates a main folder, then a subfolder, and then within that subfolder is all the different vector files. And so if we have the main folder locked like this, if we unlock it, we still have this subfolder locked, and that still restricts us from selecting any of these individual polygons. So just make sure you have both layers unselected, right? And now we should be able to select the individual polygons in this file. So we're in good shape. And so what we're going to do is get rid of all the ones that aren't on the island of Manhattan. So there's a couple different ways to do that. One, you can take the Lasso tool, and this allows you just to draw irregular shapes. So you can just draw a box around the ones down here in New Jersey. Doesn't have to be exact. Now that they're all selected, you can just hit delete. Usually you have to hit delete twice to grab all of them. The problem with the Lasso tool is that it's a little hard to control. Sometimes it can kind of get away from you and you get over here and select things you don't want to select. So what I actually prefer to do is to use this selection tool here, or to use this box tool. So use the selection tool, and you can just draw a square by holding down your cursor and just like you would when you're creating a shape. And it'll select everything within that region. Right, a little bit less precise than the Lasso tool in terms of you might have to do more little pieces, but a little easier to control. And you don't have to get the whole object either, you just have to grab a piece of it. Right, so for example, I can just go like this, and as long as it intersects with that vector, it's going to select it, you can delete it. So that's typically what I like to do instead of the Lasso tool, just because it provides just a little bit more ease and whatnot for myself. And the other thing, when you use the Lasso tool, you're selecting the individual elements of each polygon, right? So if you just like get that piece here, you're just selecting the pieces of it like that, right? So if I hit delete once, there's still portions of this you have to hit delete twice. Whereas if you use the selection tool and just draw a square, any little piece that you grab, intersect with that vector, it's going to allow you to delete it. that's typically what I do. You know, if you have like a kind of a weird shape like this and it's easy, you can just grab this. But typically I like to take a little bit more time and go through it, like with the direct select tool, or the main selection, the black arrow selection tool, and just drawing little boxes. Right. And now, you know, within a few minutes, we're able to clear out all of our other census block polygons that are not on the island of Manhattan that we don't need. Right now I have a much cleaner map that only shows really what we're trying to show. If we go back here to the menu, now we see our demand, right? And we're going to do the same thing. Unlock, right? Again, make sure that you unlock the correct, or all the sublayers. There we go. And you just do the same thing and grab all the ones that you don't need. And it asks you to go in and select all the ones that don't intersect with one of the census blocks that have the income requirements that we need. And for that, yeah, just do the same thing. You just even draw like lines that intersect with a bunch of them. Or if there's just individual ones you need to, you can just select them individually. There's like tight spots. So hopefully that answers the question, but really the key things to take away is you can use the lasso tool. I prefer the selection tool. It does the same thing. It just gives you a little bit more precision. And whenever you're working with any of your layers and trying to delete stuff and move stuff around, just make sure you go into the layers file and ensure that both your main folder that your data's in and any subfolders are unlocked as well. Cool, that is it. Let me know if you have any questions for this assignment, which is due Tuesday.